Hello builders, my name is G. Facecam video today for the vlog. I just wanted to give some thoughts on Friday. Today I went to a conference in Boston and I'm really reflecting on the state of events in Boston. I feel like the community that I've come to know over the years in Boston is slowly fraying. I compare it to an experience that I have had and have seen from other people at New York Tech Week. And I also kind of reflected based off of what's in SF, what's in Los Angeles. I've been to all of these different places, been to different events, and the one thing that I can tell definitively about why someone might be dismissive of a city like Boston when compared to something in the Valley is both continuity. I thought that Boston felt small until I went to a series of events in SF and got to know a lot of people and then saw the continuity of these people are engaged and with the community and are out there. You expect to see some facet of people, and Boston used to be kind of that way. These known commodities of people who are rock solid, they're pillars of the community. Some of them, I will say, in Boston have probably retired at this point or are heads down, really hard working on new ventures, which is totally cool. We don't expect them to be a part of the community, I suppose. But I guess in some ways it's a little bit disappointing. And, in the example of New York Tech Week, well, there's so many people. You're never going to see the same person probably twice unless you actively go to an event where you know they're probably going to be there. But just like a random happenstance, oh my gosh, you again, right? To be able to meet someone serendipitously like that, pretty rare in New York City. The way that New York City is able to get around that is the amount of money that's within their ecosystem and the ability for a lot of people to host events at particular locations. It's just something that's not matched in the city of Boston. So what I'm slowly seeing in Boston is the frequency of events dropping. There are some new people filling in the gaps for, I would say, some event organizers pulling back. Some of it might have to do with the economy, but I feel like there's a general lowering of the temperature around startups in Boston. There's a lack of urgency to need to build new solutions in the city. I think a lot more people have been talking more about jobs as opposed to, branching out and building really cool stuff. And it's a little bit disappointing. I don't know at what level it comes from. The amount of support that the venture community within Boston is able to provide or needs to provide, who knows? I would say that the company that I've worked at, Techstars, certainly there's a pullback there. And maybe it's because it's bias of the fact that I was deeply embedded in that community and slowly seeing it kind of recede. Obviously, Techstars has been having some issues lately, but just kind of seeing that receding of, the amount of events that are being put out by different people. SVB, kind of a resurgence, right? They're trying to bring themselves back up to what they were. But again, that's still a pullback compared to where they were beforehand. Still think that, they're putting in the effort, at least, compared to other organizations. And I just think that when we look at like the ability for venture funds in other areas, the ability for them to engage, I'm not saying that it's necessarily the fault of venture or that they actually need to do it. I'm sure if they decide they have enough deal flow in the city, all the powers to them. From what I'm seeing and from the entry level of startups, what's going to be growing in the future is a major gap, right? You're going to have people who are new currently, and it's going to be actually, I should position them down here. The amount of new people are going to be really low. There's all the people who are have been working on companies, they're at a higher point, later stage in their company. A lot of them are out, right? Companies fail over time, they exit, so people are going and they're not re-engaging with the community to help build up the new level of startups. They're exiting. So I've been seeing they're not engaging anymore. There's a I'm gonna say like a startup drain that's going on in Boston, from what I've been able to observe, and we're gonna have a dearth on the other end, right? Where look, maybe venture business is booming. They're able to be super engaged with all the companies that were built here during the last vestiges of the ZERP era, but you're about to hit this dearth now of not new companies being created, and it's going to be a major struggle within the city. I'm going to see it. We have already dropped from 3 to 4. One is a surge in Los Angeles funding, some of it El Segundo, defense tech being a major boon in those particular areas, but it is concerning, right? We're steadily dropping, and I think the next one on the list, according to the Carta data, was Austin, Texas, right? And I'm not seeing Texas probably slowing down anytime soon. So if Boston wants to keep its edge, wants to expand beyond just being the healthcare biotech, and honestly, when I'm hearing about the state of healthcare, it's not looking great. So, if we're really putting all of our chips into the biotech bucket and not properly investing across different industries, and really just thinking about like what is the power broker, right, or the top company in Boston when it comes to AI, that doesn't really exist. We haven't been able to properly support companies and help create new ones. And from just conversations that I've had in different areas, the naturally conservative nature of Boston investment means, the level of enthusiasm just distinctly goes down, right? And so Silicon Valley is able to power through these kind of dips in the economy, macro economy, to just, enthusiasm by just having overwhelming optimism, right? And I just see that optimism slowly slipping away from Boston. And look, I'm a Boston guy. I love this city. I literally have have it on the walls, right? That I love the city and I want it to be the best in the world. And I want Boston to be incredibly competitive against San Francisco, because I think competition breeds, the best, right? And that iron sharpens iron. And right now we're rusting away. And I think it's unfortunate. We need to fix this. It's just, I won't say I think today was the thing that broke the camel's back, right? Because I'm seeing what's going on at what's supposed to be a event with some big names that were in the Boston area that showed up, and I just see a lack of enthusiasm. The air in the room is not the best, and overall, this was not against the event organizers. I think the event was organized very well. It's just the temperature of the room is not what I'm expecting from a vibrant community. It's unfortunate. I'm seeing a lot of scared founders, a lot of worried people. And again, this is politics and macroeconomics aside. It's just the environment and the level of support that founders believe are around them, right? And if you factor in, and now I'm changing it, if you do factor in macroeconomics and the political environment, there should be more support in order for people to do audacious things like starting a company. In the end, the complete opposite's happening, right? I think there's a pullback across the board, less support, less time to be able to work with founders, less people being generous with their time and working with companies. It's just a major pullback across the board. Not saying that across the board it's fully happening. It's not 100%. I would say it's like a 60-40, increasingly becoming 70-30, like 70% not supported, 30% very well supported. So if you're part of the 30%, great. I love it. Thank you so much for what you're doing. But I think the 70% of people who are not feeling supported are not going to start their company, are deciding to leave. And I used to be of the mind of like, hey, if you don't feel like you're ready to start a startup, don't. Sure, that's great advice, but from an ecosystem and from a community and from a city level perspective, that's awful for the overall ecosystem. All right, so great, I can help people make the best decision for themselves, which is probably not to start a startup. Right now in the city of Boston, I'm starting to almost declare it, like, unless you're a repeat founder or you really have high conviction on something and you're ready to go, if you're just a tech curious, this is incredibly sad that I have to say this, but I just don't think Boston's able to support you anymore. It's unfortunate. I just don't think that that's an option right now. I want to change it because I don't want to be just the person complaining about it, and so I'm going to be actively working to try to change that. But until this does change, I'm putting out, potentially a controversial, in my opinion, probably not controversial if you take the lens off and really see for what's going on. We're gonna have a major crisis in this city when it comes to the startup community if we don't do something soon. So, I love this city. I want it to be competitive. It's best for the country. It's best for the world. It's best if you just want to really think selfishly for VCs and LPs out there, right? It's best if Boston has a very vibrant startup community. So, all in all, just wanted to create this little mini rant, I suppose, and say, like, this, I'm ringing the alarm bells. This is something that I've been in Boston for. Look, people are going to make fun of me, whatever. I really don't care. I've been here 8 years, dips in and out. I've seen it all, right? From working at Techstars, building startups. I saw the where the city was at during COVID, where it was at during the inflation crisis, where it was at in the 2018 overheated economy crisis, right? And the times even before that, right? The election of a certain administration, all that type of stuff. So just seeing it all the way across the board, this is probably one of the low points. And in my opinion, it's really unfortunate. So I'm going to be actively working to help. And if G can actively try to help this situation, so can you. Go out there. We need to start helping founders. We need to start providing more support and, really raise the level of optimism within the city. Because I think that when pessimism starts to take hold, cynicism starts to take hold, we'll never recover from that. And that's just something that I hope will never happen to Boston. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Thank you.